Greetings.
No, this is something special. This is nightly breaking news. This is breaking news. I literally interrupted my dinner so we could talk about it because... Oh, good soup.
Breaking news. It has just been confirmed that Will Smith's skin is made of the thinnest material known to man.
And that's why I wanted to interrupt my dinner, because there's actually a lot to break down about this. There's some conversations to be had.
Well, let's explain to the people what happened.
Yeah, we will. Now go, Oz.
Okay. Well, you see, Chris Rock, the famous black comedian, made a joke.
We need to there's a more...
Oh, it's the Oscars.
Yeah, and no one cared.
Who cares?
In actual fact,
now we do.
This one event has made the Oscars more relevant than it has been in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
And it's not because of anything else, because it shows how entitled and thin-skinned so many celebrities are.
Yeah.
And it reveals issues in Hollywood, how important they feel they are. Like, just the very existence of the Oscars, let alone any controversies in them, really, to me, every time... I don't watch anymore, but when I did, it just felt like the biggest circle jerk ever of them just sniffing their own farts and telling each other how wonderful they are. It was the most tone-deaf, entitled piece of crap ever. And most of these people are bad people, and shock horror, we have an example of showing these people's true colour right here.
Okay. Well, come on now.
I wasn't referring to that, Oz.
Oh, okay. Continue then.
Okay. And so I've always just hated these things, right? They're entertainers. That doesn't make them good people to be admired or anything. If they do good things outside of their entertainment work, sure, fine. So, Hugh Jackman, Chris Hemsworth, the guy who played Matrix... Keanu Reeves. These seem like genuinely decent people outside of their work. But then there are so many other ones. Like, oh, you should hear that. That just reveals... the reason why people hate Hollywood.
You just can't let it go to your head. That's the problem, Read the hate comments as much as you read the positive comments.
Well, it is difficult to stay grounded when you're being adored so much. And the danger about celebrity is when millions, not just thousands, like millions of people telling you how wonderful and great you are, the danger is that the person who is receiving this praise might actually start to believe it. And they think that other people aren't getting as much praise and attention, so I must be just a little bit, maybe a little bit to begin with, and get bigger. And now I'm just better than them, so much better that I will not allow any affront or offence to me in or people who I'm related to in any way. So much so because I'm so important that if you slight them in the least, I will slap you down.
Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest men to ever live, he had a fix for this. When he was walking through out in the public, everyone loved this guy. Everyone loved this guy. To this day, people still love him. He had a, what's it called, a servant whose one job was to follow him around and whisper in his ear, "Remember, you're just a man."
Kind of like, seems like Will Smith might have needed that.
Yeah.
But
I think Will Smith's wife whispers the word. Probably not as honest, but a bit more brutal. Like, "Remember, I have your balls in my pocket," or "Remember, you will kill for me," or "Remember, I had sex with R. Kelly," or something like that. However it was.
You were going to say something, Nathan, and this is important.
I remember, yeah.
When you say something...
What, you don't want to interrupt Nathan.
Yeah, we don't want to cut you off.
Yeah, that'd be awful.
Never, not once.
No.
Because cutting Nathan off would be terrible.
We've made so much progress with it.
It's bad karma.
We've made so much progress with it.
Yeah, I know. We don't want to give him PTSD. Go.
Remember the kid that acted in 2.5 Men, after the show finished, this interviewer asked him, how you're still so grounded and you haven't gone all the fame to your head, and he said that his friends and family are still the same since before he got the job. That he kept people who weren't, big, rich and famous. He said, my neighbours are still my friends, schoolmates are still my friends.
Well, to be fair, right, that kid did go on to be like, hey, don't watch 2.5 Men, which, I mean, the show did suck when Charlie Sheen left.
Yeah.
And also, he's not exactly a household name. None of us know what his name is.
No, but I remember seeing that and being like, oh, okay, to stay grounded, you don't get invited to all this celebrity stuff. You've got to be with some of the common folk.
But I think it would help that he wasn't mega celebrity either.
Yeah.
The bigger you get, it seems like the harder it is to avoid that diva mentality.
Yeah.
Sorry, I cut you off before, Oz. Now we can get up to the joke portion of the
joke portion.
Mm-hmm.
I'm afraid that if
you were saying Chris Rock.
Well, that's the thing. I'm afraid if I do tell a joke about this, Will Smith might storm in and fucking slap me. No, but he told a joke that was just like the most,
Like, out of all the jokes that could trigger people...
Yeah.
Now, I think there is a bit deeper context. So, Chris Rock made a joke about Will Smith's wife, who I don't even know the name of. Her hair, because it was shaved.
I forget her name as well.
But
something Smith.
You were saying that she shaves her hair because of a condition she has?
Yeah, she has a condition where, like, bits of her hair fall out, and so she just decided to shave it to make it look nicer.
Now, to me, all right, there's a condition there, but this is a vast difference compared to making fun of a bald person that is bald because of cancer or something like that. That might be a bit more in bad taste.
I found bald people are usually more embracing of it as well.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, whenever someone combs their hair, they're like, oh yeah, it'd be great for me to,
The Will Smith and whoever her wife is relationship, I've only looked into it tangentially, and that was enough to see that, wow, this is an insanely toxic relationship. And I did not come away... What was her name?
Her name's Jada.
Jada. I did not come away with having a positive impression of that woman in the slightest.
There was a joke that, what's his name? Seth MacFarlane, when he was doing the Oscars, he made a joke about Django Unchained. He said, Django Unchained, a story about a man and his wife who undergo horrific violence, or as Chris Brown and Rihanna call it, date night. Chris Brown didn't go up and beat the crap out of him, and he's known to be violent.
Yeah, like, this has stepped over a line that is, like, so bad. It shows Will Smith to be unbelievably thin-skinned. It's pathetic. It shows how entitled he is. There are a couple of caveats I'd like to add before we continue, and it's that there is possibly a mental health component to Will Smith's actions here. He does not come across as being particularly emotionally stable at this time. And I understand that anyone, when pushed to their limit, can break down, and this could be more of an explanation than celebrity entitlement. The thing is though, even with emotional stress, it does not excuse this type of behaviour, and the issues that we raise later in this video is that it really does seem that Will Smith is trying to justify his actions as evident by his acceptance speech to his award. This type of behaviour is absolutely not acceptable, especially to a joke as tepid as the one that Chris Rock made. Regardless of the person's emotional state, it should not be excused, and the fact that he might be trying to justify it makes it vastly worse, and in my opinion, does reveal this entitled, arrogant attitude. Now this is the thing, I liked Will Smith up until this point. Look, I didn't have a good impression of him with the relationship with his wife and stuff like that, but on a personal level, it seemed like, to me, in an uneducated opinion that don't know everything, seemed like he was getting manipulated and unjustly attacked by his wife for reasons that didn't seem to be, like, even if certain reasons were his fault, it did not justify what his wife did, which is sleep around with other people while they're married.
It's one of the classic blunders of modern men, is just being beaten down by their... I hesitate to say, evil wives, Have you ever seen that? Have you ever seen this happen to a man?
I have.
It's horrific. I feel...
Well, this is the reality that a lot of people aren't aware of. And look, I don't know enough to say this is what is happening in the Smith relationship. We're saying, now I'm speaking generally, but generally, there is a lot of spousal abuse that men receive, the husband receives from the wife, that gets unreported because it's considered unmanly for men to... And You're holding back, Oz.
I'm picturing, like, he made the joke and then Jada Pinkett Smith is like, good, kill him.
Because he was laughing. You see the clip. He's laughing, it cuts away, and then suddenly he's getting away, and it feels like he was good to go with it, and someone whispered in his ear, kill him.
Yeah.
All right, are you gonna let him insult me like the classic,
Yeah, said the old, what's the one, the trigger word.
Now, there's no evidence for this. We're not saying it did, okay? We're saying hypothetically there are situations in which there are abusive women in a relationship who are not man enough to do their own dirty work, and they will get their man to do it because they have such a,
I disagree with you there. I think that if a man insults another man's wife when they're both in the room, and it's like a harsh one...
There's a level. This is where I was also going to...
The man should...
There is a level where the husband should defend the wife's honour.
Yeah.
But in terms of things that do not call for violence, and that's the vast majority of nearly everything, right? The fact that there is certain situations where the female in a relationship will use her partner's capacity for violence for their own ends and manipulate them, get them to do the dirty work for them, which is a form of female on male spousal abuse. We don't know. Look, I'm not saying that is the case with Will Smith, but we're saying some certain things gives us impressions that we cannot confirm at all, but they just make suspicions.
If I got a reaction from someone like that, I'd double down. I'd double down.
Oh, yeah.
I'd double down. I'd be like, sorry, was that joke too bold of me? Hey, don't lose your hair over it, man.
That's what he should have just kept playing on him. Be
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Come on,
Poor
get back
Chris
up.
Rock, he was, I heard he had trouble just trying to regain his composure, as you would.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's a comedian. You don't you expect a heckle every now and then, but for someone to go and slap you,
Yeah.
yeah,
And
you
I don't know,
need to.
maybe he thought they were friends beforehand, and so-
Are they friends afterhand?
you're on fire.
Yeah, so is Chris Rock's cheek.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, simmered down that one, didn't it?
So there was something else I wanted to go on to in regards to like doubling down. Oh yeah, so what I was going to say about we don't know what caused Will Smith to step over the line, and we are not saying that anyone whispered in his ear, but also it might not have needed it. He might have even just looked and saw that she was like,
She seemed to be smiling though.
was she? See, I don't like.
I think it took a second for it to tick over what he was.
Maybe he was
Yeah.
like, maybe he was thinking, I can laugh at it. No, I can't.
You know what it probably was? I don't think it was that. I think it was like he's sitting there, they're all laughing along, and then he's like, "Wait a minute, that's what he means." You know, like
It
it
could
literally.
be that.
When you realize that someone's insulted someone you care about, you just realize that that actually like physically is like, oh, okay, and then he didn't think about it. That's what I think happened.
Well, the fact that he would react so emotionally to something so tepid and like non-offensive as such a bland comment like that,
Yeah.
shows how insecure, oversensitive, entitled he is. And really, let's talk about that entitlement thing, okay? Because basically, Will Smith has shown that he feels that his wife are so important that they are above being made fun of. And if you make
Well-
fun of them, that's
I got to play Big Willie's advocate here.
Uh-huh.
That's his name, by the way. Big Willie.
is it?
That's his rap name. Yeah. Talk about
Yeah, jeez.
modest rap name. No, but like it might be a soft spot for them. We don't know stuff surrounding it, but at the same
Doesn't
time,
excuse it.
yeah, no, I know, it doesn't excuse it, right? But I don't. The excuse here isn't, excusing his behaviour, but the reaction and why he's like that couldn't have. It might not have just been he's vain, he's arrogant, he's like, no, don't even make a joke about me. It might have been it was a very soft spot for them, a sore spot, and that he's just like, no, taking it out on you.
But see, even if it is a soft spot, to think that it's justified.
It's not. It's not.
Yeah, but he feels. That's what I'm saying. Even if he thought it was like a soft spot which justified him to step over that line, shows that no, he is entitled and thin-skinned and thinks that he is more. Because this thing, people receive crap constantly. We receive crap constantly. Just look online, all right? And this is what regular people just have to deal with in life because it's life. It makes them look really bad. I liked Will Smith. He seemed funny and personable in his personal life, except for the relationship issues. He seemed a bit about that.
I'm not a big fan of him. I don't like how he plays the same role in every single film.
Well, I was going to say, his career has been going down. Has he been in a truly successful film recently?
No.
Not recently.
Gemini Man.
I saw Gemini Man. It wasn't
did?
huge, and it was average. It was like,
Will Smith plays against himself.
Like, he has the Will Smith charm, which does him well. Like, he was able to bring some of that charm as Deadshot in the movie where he played Deadshot.
Suicide Squad?
That's
Yeah.
the one. Not the Suicide Squad.
No, the
that's
first one.
That's a different movie. But he does. He plays... Will Smith is often just playing Will Smith.
Yeah.
And his career hasn't been doing great. I still think he could bring it to a role, like if he did. But I wonder how many role offers he'll be getting after this.
Also,
Actually, no, he'll still be getting roles. No, this isn't a cancelable offence. Like, Will Smith literally physically assaulting someone on live TV is less offensive than saying women are women. Or saying that the definition of women is an adult human female. Literally, him
define
physically
female.
assaulting someone is less offensive and less cancelable in the modern climate than that. Holy crap.
He actually does have I think it's like a limited series on TV coming out. It's an American version of an Australian book Have you heard of the Australian book, The Slap?
No, I'm not.
Good punchline.
I know.
No, it's a slap one.
I thought he made an appearance, or is in. There's a reboot version of Bel Air, and it looks like unbelievable woke garbage. Next level stuff.
Do you see the crime episode of Fresh Prince of Bel Air?
No.
Where it's like apparently there was like a rape and murder committed, and they came to the house, the cops, to get like the Fresh Prince of Bel Air.
Man, you should be at the Oscars.
Again, I'd be slapped.
So, then we go on to the next portion of this session. So, I'm talking a lot, and Nathan, I know you have lots to say.
Oh, I think
Say it,
it's just dumb that he does that and then he gets an award.
Did he win the award?
Did you get an award afterwards?
I'm pretty sure it was Rock saying who was going to get the award, and then he's like, "By the
He
way,
was nominated. Yeah.
Will Smith, you won."
What did he say? Like, I haven't even seen.
Do you know the
Did
category?
we get a phone?
Do you know the category?
Did he?
I think it was Best Actor or something.
No, best slacked.
Let's have a look.
Oh man. Richard Williams was a fierce defender of his family.
Oh, there we go.
I'm being called on in my life
Just slap people.
to love people
Why are
and
you
to
freaking
protect
kidding me?
people
You just hit a man.
and to be a river to my people.
A river.
Oh my gosh!
Oh, now he's a river. Look at his eyes.
I know to do what we do.
All right, we need to go. Did he do this after? He must have, because
gotta
that he, I will protect my family. I'm speechless at. We got to finish it off, but I'm speechless at how arrogant and inflated his self-sense is. How entitled he thinks he is to do it, and like, oh my goodness.
You think Big Willie's
And,
inflated?
like, spread love, right? Like, this is like, you know how people are saying you have to be tolerant and inclusive, and they're the most intolerant and exclusionary people in the world. They won't accept other people's opinions, because if you transgress what we believe is right, you are olephobes, you are a Yahtzee, all that stuff.
Yahtzee.
Hey! It's what they say to avoid the things,
Yeah,
but Nazi. I'll say it, and we'll see if this video gets buried as a result. Like, it's the same mentality. He thinks he is promoting what? Love, acceptance, tolerance, and he has the gall to say such crap after he physically assaulted someone.
Well, to be fair,
To be fair,
he was spreading love at that event. He was high-fiving everyone, even
if they missed the hand.
Yeah, he meant to high-five him, but the
I can't believe that. I'm speechless. I mean, that, like, I had a low opinion of you, Will Smith, from this, and after that's just gone into
so
bedrock.
you would not say he's a legend.
No, I wouldn't. I can't believe the gall and the arrogance to. You.
Well, goes to show, this sort of behaviour after he did that movie, The Pursuit of Slappiness.
Alright, let's finish it.
Okay.
Abuse, you got to be able to have people talk crazy about you.
Yeah, crazy
In this
talk.
business, you got to be able to have people disrespecting you. You got to smile and you got to pretend like that's okay.
He's above disrespect now. Like, that's life. Everyone cops it,
Richard
especially
Williams.
people in the public eye.
And what I loved, thank you, D. Denzel said to me a few minutes ago, he said, at your highest moment, be careful, that's when the devil comes for you.
How accurate he was! Because he won an award that night, and he slapped the guy in the face over a little joke. Oh, and look at Denzel.
Astronomical idiot. And yeah, look at
Denzel's
Denzel.
like, don't mention me, you prick.
He's just like, camera's on me now, isn't it?
I can sense it.
Well, guess what now, mate? As I said before, Streisand effect into the stratosphere. Everyone is going to be making fun of your wife because you have just given them power over you. You have shown the world what gets to you, And this is the internet. I wouldn't do it, all right? But the internet is going to eat that up and just devour it.
Yeah.
Like, you have just given all the trolls power, and they will be disrespecting your wife a million times
And
more
him.
than they would. And him.
We know, we have physical video evidence of how, like, thin-skinned and weak he is. Like, he's been caught red-handed.
Oh, man. Gosh. And Chris Rock, right? He tried to, like, I have respect for, he tried to keep it going. Like, I would almost be like, you know, people say the show has to keep on going, but there's kind of a line that when you just need to sit down and think about what just happened to determine the best response, how to go on. And that line was clearly crossed. I was just physically assaulted. And I would be tempted to just like, buy a thin-skinned douchebag who can't take a joke. And so,
again.
deal with it yourself. I need to process this. But, he didn't... Like, Chris Rock tried to keep it together.
Yeah.
So respect.
He did, though. He did. Chris Rock kept it together. And it just goes to prove, you know, rock beats paper.
But, oh my goodness. Could you imagine if that was like Ricky Gervais or Dave Chappelle? And like...
Oh, dude.
And if you think, like, just imagine, you think they're not gonna, especially Ricky Gervais, you reckon this is just nuts?
I think it was Ricky Gervais. Ricky Gervais would be like, oh, you're gonna get me in the run around. That's what would have happened. He would have fun with it. Which, okay, Will Smith is black, you won't be able to outrun him, but, you know, it'd be funny.
Oh my goodness.
Just to see Will Smith chase the guy around the stage. Oh, man.
And because Ricky Gervais, like, he doesn't care who he offends.
No.
And something like this, when he sees entitled people who think they're above offence, that just makes him double down. And, like, I hope, Ricky, I don't know if you'll ever see this, but I hope, take him to the cleaners. Like, is that the word? Like, they're gonna take him to the cleaners.
Okay, Capone.
But no, like, when I say just because he would serve to just reveal in even a greater measure what has been trying to reveal about the Hollywood elitism and stuff. And the reason why people love Ricky is because he actually does try. He hates the Hollywood elitists, tries to point it out, make fun of it, and I can't believe that Will Smith got triggered over this when Ricky Gervais, some of the things he's said about people to their face.
Did you see the one where he was at the Oscars and he made a joke about Jeffrey Epstein not killing himself? Yeah. And then everyone's like, ooh, and he's like, what? I know he was your mate.
I know he's your friend. Ricky Gervais is a legend.
Absolute legend.
Absolute legend. Yeah. And specifically how he did the Oscars. And so I just kind of hope to see what he might say. But maybe he wants to avoid the drama. Does he? He likes to, because there's been a special he's been teasing, saying I hope to get cancelled from it. Like he was, there's a Ricky Gervais special coming out where he basically is saying he's going so far that he is trying to get cancelled from it. And for me, I think offensive humour has a line that I try not to cross, but I also see a purpose in it, which is to learn to just laugh at yourself, because someone who takes themselves too seriously, someone who gets offended too easily, and people who get offended too easily, this is what happens. And this is a symptom of a larger, massive problem in modern society. And it's people who take themselves so seriously that they think they're beyond offence. You call me the wrong pronouns, you are unforgivable, okay? You disrespect my family, they're so thin-skinned and entitled where they think they're so important. They give no allowance for patience to let other people have their views and opinions and everything.
I'll make jokes.
I'll make jokes now. It's unbelievable. And this problem is just getting worse. And look where it's spilling over to now.
Yeah.
Amazing stuff. This is why there's so much to be said about this. Like, why we wanted to have a discussion on it, because it leads to larger discussions and issues that honestly exist in society. So,
I just went from this morning. I was just like, "Hey Nathan, the Oscars is on today," and I went, "Oh, really?" He goes, "Yeah." And then turns back to work, and I thought that's going to be it. We're not going to cover it in nightly news or anything. Yeah. But then this happens.
That's what I was thinking. I put it in nightly news, and it's uneventful. Nothing would happen. Who cares about it?
Stuff happened.
Well, I mean, the Oscars was still pointless, boring. This is the only interesting thing. Yeah. And it's only interesting because it reveals the issues why we've hated the Oscars so much and celebrity culture and everything, even to the forefront. And so, by being the worst Oscars ever, to me, this has become one of the best, only in this small instance because it reveals the reality about Hollywood and celebrity and why people have hated them more and more recently.
And, you know, no one even saw Will Smith's movie. It's about tennis, you know?
Yeah, who freaking cares? Like,
Yeah, who cares about backhanding and backhand serve?
Not even on my radar. Like, you know, Hollywood are making these self-flagellating, but, you know, fart-sniffing things to just congratulate themselves. We are making important movies.
Yeah.
Not popular movies, not movies that speak to the larger majority, or just even the general consensus of people in the world. Usually it's catering to one political side astronomically, denigrating half of the world's population, their beliefs and
Even though
beliefs
they're
and
the
values.
ones doing the stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because they care about making themselves feel better and reinforcing how great and special they are. And so they want to make movies that are important. Not good movies, important movies, according to them.
And, you know, it's so strange that a guy who's playing a tennis coach in a movie ends up having no balls. And he might end up seeing Chris Rock in court. But it seems like Chris Rock forgave him, like, dropped it pretty quickly. Immediately turned the other cheek.
No, I reckon we'll get a mopey interview from him and his wife.
Yeah.
Oh, another one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Need more of those.
And look, and they'll just be reinforcing and justifying
Yeah.
it. Like,
Show
just
that
like
they're
just
victims.
his speech. It's like his speech was all about justification,
Yeah.
why I was entitled to do what I did, and he was freaking putting himself as like a savior god to the like that was I'm speechless at how tone deaf but astronomically oblivious and arrogant and wow.
Really got to hand it to him.
In what way were you handed to us?
Well, I'd stand
Back.
far back.
Yeah. So there we go. Nightly breaking news.
Yeah.
Anything else you guys want
At
to
least
say?
he had the cold statue afterwards to, like, cool his hand on
There's
it.
one thing that I could say.
What?
He was quick. He walked up and it's like from there to there and it said, whoosh, and
Well-
he had like he put up a form and
Yeah, he's an athlete, you know.
Yeah, he's an athlete.
He's an athlete. Chris Rock, he's just a comedian. It's like, dude, you know what this is like?
What?
This is literally like the jester insulted the noble too hard. He got
It is,
like,
it is.
Yeah, dude, I hope he
This
gets
is-
challenged to a duel after this.
this is the jester in the king's court, but it shows how important the jester in the king's court is and why people are attacking comedy. Because comedy speaks truth
Yep,
and they don't want that.
and often reveals. So, that's
That's
that.
it?
The only noteworthy thing to come out of the Oscars. We knew Dune was going to win Best Picture. It sucked.
Oh.
So there we go. This
Yeah.
has been what we have found on our watch. So for you, always remember, stay watchful. Except the Oscars because they suck. Unless something interesting happens, then just watch that small part
Yeah.
because you can learn something about it. You know.
Shad.